Hi everybody, I thought I'd post this video since I'm having trouble installing these cabinet door supports, which are the model number H279. Come with absolutely no instructions, and I've looked online, can't find any way to tell what my measurements were. My first attempt was not correct, and you can see as I try to close this, I installed it by just lifting up as where I wanted it to be, and then installing this here, and then put this at the angle where I thought it was going to hit there. But as you can see, when you actually try to close the door, the spring only goes so far and it won't close. So I'm guessing I have to move this down to here so that it will close, but unfortunately that'll make my door sort of come down where my forehead hits right here a little bit further, but that's probably the only way to do this and have some support. So I'm going to change this and see if it works any better. Well, I've installed it, but because this is a mirror on this one side, the one strut is not going to be able to hold the whole thing up. When I let go, it just kind of collapses. So I'm going to have to put another strut over here, which is going to be a problem since I don't have support over on this side. But you can see now that as I close it, it has room to actually close. The spring at this point goes up into the tube, which allows it to close into position. Now, I'm not quite sure what the actual measurements are, or if I could have done it differently, but that's the effect that you're going for. Okay, so I had another cabinet door that's lighter than the one with the mirror on it that I also needed a strut for, so I installed this one here, trying to take some information from what I learned last time, and what I ended up doing was, let's see if I can hold my camera here, is making sure that the door could close, and it can. Of course my arm's in the way now, so I can't close it all. And it also, I found out though, that this connector right here actually needs to sit back to about here, because what's happening now as you close it is the door hits that piece and doesn't close correctly. So I'm going to have to add a board here, some wood here, so that I can move this thing back to that position, and I think that's right. Again, it's all trial and error. I'm not sure what the measurement could be. One thing I've noticed is that the thickness of this arm here and the distance from here to here needs to be parallel to the door frame itself. I think I'm a little off here, but you get the idea that it needs to have room to close and hold itself. So something else to think about when you're trying to decide how you're going to attach this in here, because again, no instructions. Okay, so I added the extra piece of wood here so that this could go back further, so that the whole door could close. Before, the door was bumping into this when it was in this position, so I stuck it back here with it. The other thing I noticed as I was doing this was how to figure out a measurement for how high that could be. And what I figured out was, if the spring is fully extended this far, that's its starting point, and then the smaller position is squeezed together. You can see, and you can see how it's going to collapse in on itself. I can't go too much further with that. So one way to think about the measurement is to visualize this squeezed up. So if it was just hanging there, visualize where that would end up if it was squeezed up, into the spring. So instead of putting it straight here like I did the last one, I moved it up because I could visualize that this was going to squeeze down enough for this to go. So as you can see, the whole thing sits flush. All right, good luck.